Welcome to the Granite Bay Montessori Technology class. It's given once a week in 3 45-minute sessions for the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. It's delivered in the trailer where we've set up 4 desktop computers and 4 laptop computers. Our approach to the class is to offer very short lectures and demonstrations at the beginning of the class. The class is very impatient to get hands-on the computer, so the lecture piece is maybe 5 to 8 minutes. We then have a series of hands-on projects to try and practice the concepts that we talked about. The class is very much individually paced. Some of the students are more interested in some topics than others. All seem to be interested in something having to do with the computer. So we let them go at their own pace. Some are quite advanced in certain areas, and others are doing very well in some other areas. We encourage them to experiment. We give them some guidelines and assignments, but we give them room to change the words and come up with their own ideas. We try and make it fun. I think the kids really enjoy working on the computers. They probably enjoy that with or without the class. And my view is that in the worst case, if they improve their typing skills, this will be a successful venture for them. So let me take you through some of the projects that we've done to try and help them understand some of the technical and marketing concepts that are part of the class. The first project was to build a multimedia marketing flyer. And what we're trying to do, which we do in all projects, is improve their typing skills. We needed to show them how to turn on a computer and find a computer program on the computer. They need to be able to save their work to the local disk or to cloud storage. They used Microsoft Word to create a document, and they used Microsoft Paint to create images for their flyer. We also introduced them to a couple of marketing concepts, AIDA, which guides the development of things like marketing flyers and promotional pieces, and also the feature function benefit concept for explaining the various capabilities of your product or service. So let me show you some of the flyers that were produced. I'll go through them quickly. As you can see, they're cute for sure. They're creative. I wouldn't figure they'd be published anywhere just yet, but I think quite good performances. Our next project was to program a game. We used a site called code.org, and they provided a high-level programming language that the students could use to create programs. Our objectives for this project was obviously typing skills again. Computer program design. We asked them to build a game. And this is quite challenging, particularly for the younger students who are more focused on doing things than on inventing things. We also tried to introduce them to a number of programming concepts which tend to cross most programming languages and computer environments. These are things like events that occur, loops for repetitive action, logic, if-then-else process, functions, automatic functions, and so on. So they would use these programming tools that were provided to them to create different computer programs. Obviously, the debugging is an important thing. They had to make them work. So let me show you some of the platforms that they use to build their programs. There is, you see here, there's a working area on the left and a bunch of programming commands that they can use to do things like move a bee around the course, stop and collect nectar, make honey, and those kinds of things. A second area is had more to do with artistic kinds of efforts, drawing things, drawing circles, drawing rectangles, and sizing things, and so on. Similar concept. They were given a number of functional blocks that they could move into a program space, and the program would then execute what they had asked it to do, and they would keep working on it until it executed it correctly. The last area was a very creative one. This is they were given characters and actions and asked to build. We asked them to build their own game. Some were very, very creative. Almost all of them made it very easy to score millions and millions of points by doing very, very little. But some of the games were really cool. They'd have characters bouncing around and throwing stuff at each other and scoring points when they hit and so on. The next project we did was to take apart a computer, and what we're trying to do here is teach them some basic things about computer architecture. We introduced the binary numbering system, which is, of course, they all think in decimal numbering system, but we introduced them to the binary numbering system because that's what computers use. If you think about the electricity in a computer, it measures it either off, which is a 0, or 1, which is on. And by understanding a little bit about the binary numbering system, they then were able to understand how an electronic pulse works through a computer board and is interpreted by the computer brain, the CPU. We talked about some of these peripheral functions like the graphics board. We discussed memory and disk storage. We only spent a day on this, but I think it was pretty well received, and they found the insides of the box quite interesting. So here's what was left after they took the computer apart. I had to put it back together for the next class. So, that was a little bit of a trick, but they seemed to enjoy feeling the pieces and seeing the pieces and understanding how small something can be and how powerful at the same time. And our next project, which we're working on right now, is to create a web page. Our objectives here, again, typing skills. They use Notepad to build their web page. We gave them a little bit of an overview about how the World Wide Web works. And then we started them into HTML programming, and they built their pages out of HTML. We also are introducing them to CSS formatting. This is how you do things like underlining and background colors and those kinds of things. And the hope is that when they complete this, they'll actually be able to build useful web pages. Here's some of the pages that they've been building so far. It looks pretty simple, but there are a number of concepts that they've had to employ here. The use of containers within a page, a lot of CSS functions like font size and font colors, background colors, and things like that. This is an example of the flexibility we give them in actually performing the task. Here you see a web page that already has an image in it. We haven't really gone too deeply, but this is gives you an example of how the students can forge ahead in an area that they're interested in. Here's some useful links. We have a blog, gbmtech.blogspot.com, and posted there are some class notes and examples and some videos and things like that. There's our typing tutor, studio.code.org is where we did our programming. And then there's a couple of references that we're using now for HTML information and CSS information. Thanks very much for your time.